Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny Show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Beverly Brunel. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it really means a lot to me to connect with like minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Ray, and I'm a guide who helps you remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past, create your future, and transform your present, to raise your consciousness, understand your spiritual path, and take charge of your destiny so you can spread your wings and soar. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and through Divine Presence, virtual and actual retreats, transformational packages, a 6-week guided meditation series for confidence, workshops, and so much more, you remember why you are here, your spiritual path, and the clarity of the next steps to take. Now, each episode of the show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation and/or an angel oracle card with the reading of with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Beverly Brunel, about her heart as healer. Now, Beverly is an intuitive, pioneering energy worker, writer, and author of a new book called Luminous Infusions, which is such a great title. Now, for 30 years, Beverly has supported people to create dynamic, personal, and generational transformation so that they can access their true power of freedom, to access new possibilities in their sense of self, their relations with the world, and the divine. Beverly says our heart can be a source of safety, calm, and wisdom. It is also a keeper of sacred secrets, longings, and shame. Our heart energy has the power to heal the traumas of our life's journey and to set ourselves free from reliving the outdated beliefs we created at an early age to wisely protect ourselves. The power of the heart is love. By retrieving our energy from the origins of limiting unconscious beliefs and patterns of behavior, we can access the current power of pure creation, which supports our expanded presence, self knowing, and access to new choices and possibilities. Now, with testimonials such as Beverly has a tremendous capacity to cut through what's being said and bring clarity to what's really going on in a very loving and focused way. She gets to the heart of the matter and offers practical solutions. And Beverly is the gifted healer, psychic, and teacher. I've been blessed to experience all her modalities. She's been able to provide me with insights and knowledge which were unobtainable elsewhere. She is truly a treasure. Thank you. So, without further delay, hello, Beverly, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Ray, I'm like overflowing with amazement at hearing all this, putting the pieces you put together that I haven't heard about myself in a long time. I feel nourished, energized, and excited and very welcomed to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments, and thoughts, as both Beverly and I want to be part of this conversation. So, please don't be shy. And of course, Beverly is going to be taking us through a guided meditation today. So, do stay tuned for that. So, Beverly, why don't you tell us more about your journey and about our heart as a healer?
It was interesting when you were doing the intro. I was getting all these flashbacks of the different work I've done with people. I've done a lot of experimentation. And it seems as though ever since I was a little kid, I've always been curious about what's behind the scenes. Like, why does someone feel that way? I'm very empathic and I could feel the deep sorrow, the deep hurt that didn't necessarily have words to it. And I was curious about that. I felt very connected to those people. And I found out in my experimentation with clients that our childhood is a journey of self love, of self discovery, and of self love. And that all the decisions that we make as children are out of self love. Even the ones that actually hurt us as a child or hurt us as an adult, they were all initially made out of the energy of self love. Should I give you an example?
Please.
So, um, a parent may have a behavior that isn't so healthy, but because the child wants to be loyal to the parent, they will over time develop the same habit. And it's an unconscious commitment out of, I want to be loved, therefore I'll be like my parent. But I want to do this for myself. I love myself enough that what else can I do to be loved? How else can I allow myself to be loved in the world? It's an act of self love. Does that make any sense right there?
Hmm.
I find it absolutely fascinating what we will do that is actually harmful, that is actually hurtful. And the beliefs we make up about ourselves in relationship to others out of our parental or generational influences, that the need to bond, the need to belong is so strong that the belief systems that are generated are like a chain link that get locked in generation to generation. Like um, in my extended family, my ancestral family, there's a ancestry of inventors. There's an ancestry of alcoholics. There's an ancestry of Europeans who come over in the famines of Ireland during that time, and just horrific stories of loss, death, loss, sudden abandonment, and so forth. And those patterns, those expectations of abandonment, the expectations of loss, the expectations of trauma from the trauma, isn't that crazy? Guide us, influence us, but it's not, it's, we don't know it, but it's in the system. It's like in our library of information. Am I making any sense? I'm so excited. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, no, no. You're making a lot of sense there. Because there's so much that comes stems from our childhood into our current life. It's such a wide subject.
Hmm. I do a lot with ancestral healing and early developmental healing, and again, this the idea of the heart. So, what do we need? We need love. What did we not get at the time? Perhaps love in the way that we could feel it. So, when I work with people, with clients and students, I go to a place with them in their past, because it's all right now, where they can be with their 10-year-old, their 5-year-old in a compassionate way. They don't need to necessarily agree with the choices or the circumstances, but they can be in compassion with themselves at that time. And just by literally being in a compassionate place with them, their younger 10-year-old or whatever, say, that 10-year-old starts to relax its fear and terror and trauma energy. And then I have the client bring that younger self into their own heart space. And this child can just let go. They don't have to keep living out that trauma anymore. They are taken out of that dynamic. They're putting in to the heart that only know, only your heart can know the depths of your sorrow and pain. However, if you listen to that younger one, you'll find out more of the joy and the pleasure and more of the sorrow and pain. We don't remember it all. In the safety of our heart, that younger self can come in and relax and just be. And the client will feel like an energetic tingle, an energetic lifting off, a sense of coming home. It's absolutely fascinating. It's alchemical.
That is so amazing, that that we can that we can actually access, and go back to the ancestral stuff, and go back to our child, our inner child, etc., to really sort of like heal and learn from it. It's absolutely amazing that we can actually do that and be guided to do that by other people as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's pretty wild. I had many experiences that there's no time, and all time is now, and that our ancestors, it's all happening right now. That's why we can access it. And then when we access the pain and the trauma that separates us, that keeps us separate from ourselves, and we integrate those younger ages and stages, those how do I say, the hologram of our being, the lights in our matrix change. The lighting changes, the energy changes, the tone changes, the frequencies change. And visually, I've got this mandala over here on the wall, if you can see it like this. If
Oh,
that were like
wow.
if that were like multidimensional, if it popped out when I work with people, it is more lit up, it is more dynamic than it was before the session because more of them comes online. That which was separated and hidden and shut down comes online and finds its proper place. The proper place is no longer in the source of the trauma, it is in the source of the heart. And by bringing that younger stage, the ancestral stage, into their own heart space and into the one who's alive now, because that's what our power is. Our consciousness is here, alive now. This is where the power is to create potent change in all dimensions and all directions. I mean, it is wild to play with and so honoring and I don't have the words, but it's such an honor to work with people and to get. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you can actually feel, sort of like the energy and the passion coming off you, where
Yeah.
when you're talking about that, that it's so amazing. You can literally feel it coming through the screen. So that is absolutely amazing. And Suze is here and says, "Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Susie. Thank you for joining us here." So, how did you get into all of this?
Good question. Let me just take a sip of my tea if you don't
Yeah.
mind. Years ago, when I was a young mom with two little kids, um, first of all, I was brought up Catholic, and the Catholics are were very strict, very limiting, very judgmental. And I was the kind of person who didn't question things. I was taught, here's the question, and I was taught, here is the answer. There's no other alternative. This is the answer. So it's very restricting. So as a young mom, somehow I came across some books that there was one called Goodbye to Guilt, which was a whole new concept for me being Catholic. I grew up, guilty, sin, original sin, all this stuff. And so I started reading, and a sense of freedom came out of me. It's like I don't have to be guilty. I don't have to be sorry for somebody else. I don't have to suffer because of these ideas in my head. I don't have to think that I'm being watched every second and be so afraid to breathe. Anyway, these books led me to new friends, new classes, new thinking. I had also had an experience with an injury when I was in my 20s. I was in a barroom brawl, and my Achilles was cut, and it was very painful, and it was operated on, but I wasn't very functional. It really hurt a lot. I could tell when it was going to rain.
Yeah, that injuries will do that to you.
So I had a thought, do I let go of this need to know when it's gonna rain in order to be more free walking? Yes. So I was working with an energy healer and all the pain and the tenderness went away. And so these different experiences hooked me into wanting to learn more. It's like there was more to life than I was told or trained. And I just took off exploring classes, and I don't dare I haven't counted, but how many, what do you call them, certifications I have? There's probably 20. I'm addicted. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of learning and finding out what else is possible. And that's been my question since then. What are we as human beings capable of? And not the horror trauma. You could look at that in the news. What are we capable in terms of the supernatural, the metaphysical, the otherworldly, here and now? What do we have the capacity to shift and change that we're not taught is true? Just because I think something is going to happen doesn't mean that that's the only thing I need to think. You've heard people say, well, that'll never happen, or that always happens. Well, if you hang in there in that line of thought, you'll probably live that line of thought.
Yeah.
So I love playing with what else is possible. And a new answer always comes. Something better. What else that's even better? Just, show me something else that's even better than I can imagine. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
that's a brilliant one for us to try and remember, to go about a day. And it's also about being curious as well, isn't it? It's not just about learning; it's being curious about how things work. What we can do to move this way or that way. And if it doesn't work out, Hey, I was curious, didn't work out. Let's see what else I can be curious about.
Exactly, exactly, and there's energy on that, just when you were saying it, there's an aliveness about that, and if we could teach our kids about curiosity instead of "This is the way it is," that's baloney. Curiosity is life force.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it can lead you to all kinds of things like cutting your finger, but that's a whole different story. um, and that. So how because it's so easy for and a lot of people say, oh, go within your heart, and
I
you
know.
know, but there are people that go, yeah, that's great, but how do I go in my heart? People tell me to go into my heart. Okay, I want to go into my heart. Well, how do I know I'm going to my? I don't know if I'm going in my heart.
I know, and how about the one, "Just love them." It's like, well, where does the love come from? How you can't make it happen. Anyone who's been in love, anyone who's had kids, it just happens. When my daughter before she was born, I was afraid. It's like, do I have enough love in me to love another person? I don't know. I'm like totally in love with my husband. I'm totally in love with my first child. I don't know if I have any more. There's no limit. It just is. Love just is. And the love pours out when it pours out. And I love my kids beyond the beyond. It's just, you can't not, you know? And the whole thing about doing the energy healing with the love, I don't believe in making anything happen. It's relaxing into listening, relaxing into observing, relaxing, like you say, with curiosity. The more you relax efforting in your mind, the more information, the more perceptions, the more sensitivity wakes up and comes in. But if we're like, well, what about this? And what about this? No, that's a squeeze in the funnel of receptivity.
Oh, interesting.
And the heart, and I don't mean the organ of, and
No.
I don't, I don't necessarily mean the heart chakra. There's words like the high heart. I think it's all of that. And it's more, it's like when I invite people, which I'll do a little bit of in a minute, in a few, um, the energy of the heart is love. It's a variety of frequencies that are probably different in every given moment for every situation. And it's kind of like an elixir. What does this scenario need now? What flavors of love does this scenario need now? This little cat puking on your rug, the little child throwing a tantrum, the adult in deep sorrow but not really acknowledging it. What flavors of love do they need? I don't know, but I can invite it in. I can invite it in from source. Please give these people the situation, the scenario, the perfect complexity of love that is perfect for them at this time. I'm not making anything happen. I'm inviting it in. I'm not trying to change anybody. I'm just creating ideally a supportive environment for what wants to happen to love that person up. And I don't know what it will do, but love, on Facebook when you have your birthday
Yeah.
and you get all these hellos, isn't it a thrill?
Oh,
Isn't
it's wonderful.
It's like over the top. I wrote the other day, somebody sent me a belated, I'm like, whenever you send it, 2 years later, it's it what love has no bounds. Whenever it comes, it's like, yes, thank you. It's so nurturing. Isn't it sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, and it makes you feel, and you feel so grateful for all, for these people that have taken the time, to actually write happy birthday.
Yes. And it sounds so simple, but it really means so much.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
no, that's absolutely beautiful. So, guide meditation into our heart.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, I love this. Okay. So, um, for those of you listening, whenever, take a few moments to be in a safe, quiet place. Like obviously not when you're driving or cooking.
No,
Excuse me.
no, I don't want to be blamed for anything.
No, because I want you to close your eyes. So
That's
yeah,
a good start.
yeah. So I invite you to close your eyes. You too, Ray. Thank
I'm
you
going
very much.
to. I'm going
Yeah,
to.
I'm not going to. I don't know why. I never do. But anyway, so I'm gonna be the magician of the energy field. So as you close your eyes, just notice your breathing. Just notice that you are breathing and what the rhythm is. Just notice. And there's no need to make it different, just to notice what it is. Now, in the next several breaths, I invite you to bring your awareness down into your heart space, down into your chest area, down into the space, which is a center of life, a center of presence, a center of treasures. It's like a container with no boundaries. There are secrets there, there are wishes there, there are lifetimes of experience tucked away. There's a future there as well. Letting go of trying to figure anything out, relaxing the mind from thinking, and bring your awareness into that heart space and feel the sensations there with a relaxed curiosity. Nice. Good. And with every breath that breathes you, I invite the light in your heart, and everyone has one. It might be like a little candlelight, a little spark, but there's a light in the heart space. And I invite that with every breath that breathes you, that the light in your heart becomes lighter and brighter and fuller and softer and richer. And that as you relax into the sensations that arise, you may notice a shift in how you feel. Perhaps calmer, perhaps you've slowed down a little bit, perhaps you've slipped into a meditative space. This in itself is a sweet, beautiful, dynamic meditation you can do anytime, anywhere. And you can just rest here in this heart space as long as you care to. And in this moment, I'm going to invite you to relax even deeper as I count from 3 to 1. 3, 2, 1. Relaxing deeper and deeper into that heart space where that heart light is softening and brightening all at the same time, and where it is nurturing your sense of well-being. And I invite a memory of your childhood that is poignant for this moment, that is wanting extra love, extra compassion, extra welcome. Is it a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 15-year-old? Inviting a moment in time in the past from your childhood, as it were, that is calling forth for more loving attention. And just notice what you notice, what comes into your awareness. And let's invite that younger self to express to you, even if it's a nonverbal age, that it expresses to you what it is needing you to know right now. What they are needing you to know right now. And let's remind them that they have a heart light in their heart. And if you can imagine that age and stage being in front of you and show that beautiful, sweet being your heart light shining bright and watch their heart light mirror yours as well. And let's let these little ones know that they don't need to be lost in the past any longer. They don't need to be, I'll call it, stuck in those scenarios where they feel alone or hurt or scared. That they are welcome to come if you would invite them into your heart space here and now today, where you are, where you sit, where you stand. Invite them to energetically come into your heart space, however that is for you. You see it, you feel it, you sense it. A gentle welcome them into your heart space, that younger age. And if there's other ages and stages that want to join in, yeehaw. I can feel a lot of sadness, a lot of emotion, a lot of relief that they've been found. And as they come and gather, because there's several here, into your heart space, again, ask them, what is it that you need to know? What is it they want you to know? And let's invite them to call all their energy to them from the scenarios in the past, as it were, from the people that were challenging to them, hurtful to them, calling all their energy from those people and from those scenarios. So there's more of them present in your heart space. There's more of their energy claimed for you as well in your heart space. Notice what you notice, what you're feeling, what you're seeing, hearing, sensing. And what is it that you want them to know? What is important for you? Don't try this. Relax into seeing what organically wants to be expressed. And know that you can have communication with them anytime by going into your heart space and meeting with them here. That this is a safe place. Let them know this is a safe place where all their secrets, all their dreams and wishes can be held as sacred and honored. Let me tune in here and see what else wants to be said here. What's coming through is to say to them, so I'm going to say it and just notice what you feel, what you sense when I say this. I'm saying this to your younger selves. It is safe for you to untangle from the past that holds you tight, to the past that holds you small. You were small then, and it was wise and smart to protect yourself then. Come into the space of my heart and feel and be free to explore who you are, to explore the true power that you have, and to set yourself free from those old limitations that were so necessary then. So that was then, and this is now. The heart is a safe haven. Your heart is your safe haven. Together, there is much clarity, wisdom, power, and love. So notice what you notice on that. I can feel a lot of change happening, a lot of reconfiguring. And again, letting them know that they can come and visit. They can hang out in your heart forever, and they can call upon you to have communication anytime that is important for them and for you, that is at a safe time. Again, maybe not while you're cooking, maybe not while you're driving, but maybe that is the perfect time. So thank them for showing up, for being willing and sharing their truth, and that you are open to learn more about yourself, about these aspects of yourself. Feeling that heart space again. Thanking this whole scenario for playing out. And asking your heart itself, this heart energy, what is it wanting you to know? What is the love and the frequencies of your heart space wanting you to know at this time? And I invite the blessings of this energetic experience to integrate into all aspects of your being, physical, mental, emotional, multidimensional, and that you see and reap the benefits this evening, this day, in all directions, forward, back, sideways, about the hologram of your being and beyond, throughout eternity and beyond. Waking up the magic of the heart to heal, the magic of the heart as healer, you as the magician of your own heart. When you feel ready, open your eyes gently and give your spine some movement, your head and neck. It helps the energy integrate. And when you come back into your space, notice your perceptions. Notice, I find that oftentimes the eyesight is much sharper and clearer.
Mm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's so much sharp. It's so much sharper and clearer. Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you.
What's that like for you? What was your experience? You want to share some nuggets?
Yeah, I will do. And Valerie is here. Hi, Valerie. Thank you for saying hello. Yeah, and anyone who's watching, no, please feel free to share in the comments, any nuggets you got from that. It was really interesting because I started having a coughing fit
Oh,
um, during that. Luckily, I can mute my microphone, which was really interesting because it kind of like um, not being able to speak certain things when I was a child. So it's interesting that I suddenly had a coughing fit for like that. But when we first went into it, it was like, and it was lovely because quite often and I know I do this occasionally, but with some guided meditations where they say sort of like take a deep breath and then they're like, and you kind of like it changes your breathing. So it's really nice that it kind of like just go with your own with how you breathing goes. And it was really calming going into that. And when you sort of like said all of sort of like all the various to coming together, and it's sort of like untangling it. I literally, it was kind of like saw when you play human, what's the game, Twister, and everyone's all like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like it's just like they're all untangling from each other. It,
Mm,
it was it
perfect.
was it's really beautiful, and we had a group hug,
Nice.
which was really lovely and gorgeous, and it was like, oh, so nice, this great big group hug that we actually had.
Did
Um,
you feel that in your body, the group hug?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I actually felt that in my body, and it was really really nice. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for that. That was amazing, and I'm gonna go back afterwards and do it again with hopefully not having a coughing fit.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it can be done over and over in different times, and it's always the experience is new and different. Who
Mm.
shows up is new and different. The communication is new and different. Responses, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, that was amazing. So thank you very much. And that's only part of what you do.
yeah.
So that's amazing. So everything else you do has got to be just as amazing. Well, from those testimonials, um,
Thank you.
that we saw. So how do you normally work with people? Is it one to one? Is it in group sessions? Is it Oh, okay. Let's see. Valerie said, I can see clear. I don't need my glass to watch TV. I was tearful as I met my ancestral mum. We share loves and hugs. I lost her when I was young. Thank you.
Wow.
And thank you so much, Valerie, for sharing that. That is absolutely honest and vulnerable. Thank you so much. We hold you in so much space for sharing that. So thank you. Um, very, very much. Yeah, it was amazing the clearness coming out of it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was amazing. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
There's
that
more of your energy present now because it was gathered and collected from where it was stored and almost like we're simplifying the system,
mm,
if that makes any sense. So there's less energy to run it. So that energy that was running those systems comes back and is more present with you. So it's health it's healthifying. It gives you more vibrancy and also calmness at the same time. Um, and I think it's interesting, like, so my words were about childhood, but her mom came in, her ancestral mom. And
mm.
that's the point. Whoever wants to come in will come in. It's like my words hold space. They aren't the absolute, they are just a space holder or a doorway to other options. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I like the way you say that it's a doorway to other options. I think that's absolutely yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So what else do you do? How do you work?
So I work with clients since COVID. It's all been Zoom and phones, and before it was anyway. But I did more in person. The funny thing is, I get so used to working virtually that when someone's with me, I forget to touch them. And I started this whole thing off doing of being I'm a massage therapist and doing hands-on healing, but it's so interesting how conditioning can change our reality. I have to, I can touch you now, and then ask permission. But so anyway, um, so people come to me with all sorts of concerns, issues, needs. Couples come for couples support. What's going on in me that will make my relationship better? Because here's where we're struggling. I'm having troubles with my kids' behaviors. What's happening in me that's contributing to that? And they're not always aware that that's the deal, but that is the deal. And people come sometimes in there with they've got illnesses, and we find out what the emotional issues are behind, which will free up the energy so the body can heal more readily or in new ways. Um, Generally, the umbrella is I help people wake up to their personal power, to their divinity, to their sacred presence, and the power that can live out in their lives. So they aren't there's no such thing as a victim. They can find their creative expression and movement in their life where they may have thought there wasn't any. So um, there are always options, even though there seemingly are none. So I help people find the options, find the truth within them. That's another key. I help people find their truth. because I've realized that, and even for myself, I don't always tell myself what's true for me. I don't let myself know. What a strange phenomena. But that's what we're here for, to find out, to live from our truth, to live from our true needs, desires, and so forth. So I help people find it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and it do and we do kind of like sometime as a healers, way showers, light workers. Sometimes we forget what we're sort of like we're guiding other people to do. Sometimes we forget that ourselves, and it's like,
I have to
oh
listen to what I say.
yeah, yeah, but it's so easy. It's so easy to do because you're giving so much that you do kind of like forget about yourself sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's interesting though, when I'm giving a session, I'm in the energy, and, it's curious, I talk a lot when I'm doing a session sometimes, and somehow it's generating the energy, and I'm on the side, I'm doing this stuff outside of the picture, clearing, 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 and as I'm clearing, clearing, I'm doorways are opening to ancestral awareness, um, or origins of suffering, origins of mental challenges, origins that make no sense, but once they're identified, acknowledged, and love brought to them, and the message freed up, it becomes obvious. It's like, oh, of course. And there's a sense of being heard, seen, felt that is beyond thinking. It's a visceral, ah. And there's change. It's like the dominoes fall, but like I said earlier, the matrix lights up in a whole new way. And those dormant, twisted, worn out, they get fixed, changed, transformed, melted away. They're not overworking anymore. They don't need to be there anymore.
yeah,
So honoring them is the first step. Like some people go and cut the cord, throw it away, get rid of it. Like, no, no, you're causing more trauma. Call the energy home. Acknowledge the choices, acknowledge it was right for the time and that it's not right anymore. Call that age and stage into the heart space right here and now. Bring it home. Don't throw it away. Don't get rid of it. Wow, you know?
yeah.
Anyway, that's how I go about things.
No, that's brilliant. I did have to literally cut some cords for something the other day, but before I did it, I saw that enveloped in a beautiful bubble of pink unconditional love, and did healing, or was doing healing before we cut that separation.
Bingo. You got to do stuff before. Yeah. Bingo.
Yeah, yeah, you've got to do those. Those so brilliant. So if anyone else you want to share as Valerie did, then please feel free to do that. But whilst we're waiting, as you all know, I like playing with cards, and I
Great.
have the deck of Oracle cards right in front of me. So as Beverly was kind enough to do us all a guided meditation, which was absolutely brilliant, and I would definitely be listening back to it. And I suggest all those that joined later, watching the replay, or even if you joined in the time, have a listen back later and see if you get any differences or what differences there are. So as always, I'll give the cards a quick cleanse and a bless. And as you know, when I do the cards, I do the cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because even though I work with the past, when we go to the past, it's to heal and clear the past so we can be fully present. And when I take you to the future, it's so you can understand and see the future, but it comes all the way back to the present. So, what does Beverly and everyone who's watching this live or at a later date need? Oh, okay, we'll go with that one, shall we? And a beautiful card for what we've been talking about, and for you. Wandering path, enjoy the journey.
Nice.
And isn't there's a map there with a compass and a fox. So again, that's reminding us the curiosity, the going with the flow, just allowing the journey to move you forward. So for you, Beverly, it's kind of like, you're on that path, where you can just enjoy this journey and allow it to meander along, in the calmness and the stillness. But being shown the way,
Nice.
if that makes sense.
Thank you.
And again, for those of you, watching, enjoy the journey. What we've been talking about today, what Beverly's been sharing, is the journey, the curiosity, the allowing, the going with the flow. So bring that into your lives now, as you move along. um so yeah, so that's a brilliant card to come out, and I love the little fox on there. It's
That is
kind
sweet. And what deck is that again?
This is Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Lim.
I like that. Thank you.
Oh, they're beautiful cards. I love using these cards. They are so um amazing. So everyone, so Beverly, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
Take some time to tune into your heart once in a while and just be with yourself without having to do anything else. Just be with yourself. Our bodies are remarkable and our life is unique, outrageously unique. And we can take a moment to just be with ourselves. No one else can do that for us. We can. And then when we have an inkling that something isn't right, believe that. Override yourself no more. Be be willing to explore being outrageously honest with yourself. I'm playing with it myself. To be outrageously honest with yourself, and I think that's part of how we can navigate more honestly through the world.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful words of wisdom. There, Beverly. I love that. That was so good. I really did enjoy those words of wisdom. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and the guided meditation that Beverly did, and as I know I definitely have. And I've definitely learned some new things today. So, Beverly, if people want to connect with you, how do they
Yes.
do that?
Thank you. Thank you. Go to Beverly Brunelle, BRUNELLE.com. And it's Beverly, BEVERLY.com. And there are free gifts there. If you sign up, there's 3 heart meditations. They're very unique, of different lengths. And one is set to music, which is really beautiful. It's a stream of love. And there's a contact page you can write to me. And there's a lot of articles. There's interviews. There's my YouTube channel is on there. Yeah, there's lots of ways to get in touch and learn more.
Yeah. Yeah. So please do connect with Beverly. There is a lot there that you can that you can unpack. And of course, if you are ready to remember your divine presence and step into your spiritual multidimensional path, but you feel lost, stuck, alone, or confused, then please feel free to connect with me and we can arrange a video call to discuss where you are now and how you can move forward to take charge of your destiny, to spread your wings and soar. And of course, please feel free to join my weekly newsletter and receive a free future life progression recording where I take you into a future lifetime to get guidance and clarity that you can use in your current life, as well as a couple of other free gifts. And I'd like to thank you all so much for watching live at a later date. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you, and really need to go into their heart space and learn about their heart, and do the guided meditation that Beverly shared with us. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to be notified when the show goes live, where I post new guide meditations. And don't forget to go and subscribe and like Beverly's YouTube channel as well. Uh,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, definitely. The more we all support each other on YouTube, so much better. And I
Yes.
look forward to you all joining me same time, same place next week. Thank you again, Valerie, for sharing. Thank you, Susie, for saying hello. Anyone who's watching the replay, please do write in the comments. We will come back and we will answer anyone who writes in the comments or says hello watching the replay. So again, thank you, Beverly. Thank you, everyone's watching, and see you all soon. Take care. Bye.